And then the funny thing, with the point system, they had a big article in the Times-Union, Albany Times-Union. They were different servicemen around, and I had the most points for discharge for anybody. That picture was in the paper, and a write-up about the, or I've been and like that.
Do you have that?
No, I don't have it. And I had the most points for discharge of anyone. This was in the spring, probably April. Might have been May, somewhere in there.
What year was it?
1945. And incidentally, also, I had a thing saying that I was no longer fit for physical combat. They wanted to send me back to Fort Dix for infantry training again. I said, Christ, I said, in all these battles like that, I've been marked physically, impaired from any more combat. And now you want to send me back there for infantry training? I said, bullshit. Couldn't see that deal at all. So I didn't have to go back, but they came out with all the point systems, and as I told them, Connie, this was in the spring. And
he had a lot of points.
Everybody was getting out, and Clint Traver wasn't getting out. These guys, I had 128 points, I remember.
Yeah.
And guys,
your picture was in the Albany
paper.
paper. You had the most.
I wasn't getting out. And there in Albany, they said I rode the trains, and we did some patrol work in Albany like that. And it was August 1945. I think the date was the 25th.
My birthday.
I think it was, right around there. And the Japanese surrendered. We bombed them. We just surrendered. And I said to the whoever was in charge here, I said, I'm going to Hudson. We're going to celebrate. Well, he says, you got the duty today. He says, you've got to patrol like that. He says, there'll be a lot of celebrations going on. You've got to help keep order. I said, shit. I said, I will get on through the, why do you think you're having this damn thing? I said, it was guys like me that went all through the thing, that they will let you have this
celebration.
And so I says, you think I don't have a right to celebrate a little bit myself tonight? I says, if you want me, you can find me somewhere around Hudson, New York. But I says, I'm leaving. I says, I'll be back in the morning. But I says, tonight, I says, I'm going to be down there with my girlfriend. And I left. And
how come they declared you unfit? How come you were unfit and you couldn't go back? Flat feet. Oh.
Yeah. I got feet and things like that. That was another thing.
When they want to go to the office as candidates.
Right, right after the war broke out. There wasn't a great many guys, even in high school education, in the Army in those days. And I said, all of our outfits had them, the requirement had them. So they wanted to move for officers candidate school. And I took the exam, passed the exam. I forgot how many it was, 10 of us or something like that. Got my bags all packed on the boat, ready to come back for officers candidate school. Well, my physical bounced on me. And I was wondering why. And it bounced me and counted my feet. I said, my feet. I said, I thought you said my pro golf. On my feet all a while. I thought you said my pro hockey. I said, I was in the infantry. My feet didn't bother me. I said, if they had bounced me on account of my eyes, I could have seen that because my eyes were good. But they bounced me from Officers Kennedy School because of my feet. And it may have been a very, very lucky thing because a lot of guys, got killed, became officers, leading things. A lot of guys got killed. And so that was maybe a break for me too, that I didn't get killed. But then, a while later on, when I was back in the States, and all, when I was up in Albany, in fact, they asked me about going to Officers Kennedy School. Now you're 5 years difference. And I said, oh, no problem. We'll get you in with your feet, no problem. I said, man, I've had almost 5 years of this man's army. I said, all I want to do is get out. I didn't want to go to Officers Kennedy School. Now the war was over.
Well, he had one invasion right after another. He was overseas all that time. And you were the girlfriend, Ma. Yeah, I was the girlfriend. Way to go, Ma. You hung right on in there.
Well, Mom and
Here comes the truth, Ma.
Mom and I worked at the Hayden Manufacturing Company that made pocketbooks up in Athens. Because she was in a different department than I was a framer. I don't know what else she did, but I was a framer. I thought she was pretty cute. Nice little hiney on her. Thin. Turned up nose. She didn't think that much of me. I didn't rate very good. But I got to take her out a couple of times and over at her house. When I was over there to see her, I spent most of my time with her father drinking beer. And she's actually going out the back door. And her father thought that when I told him I wanted to be a funeral director, he couldn't see that I should be a policeman. He's from Poland, and cops have authority. And he said I should be a policeman because I'd had experiences like that. And I remember one time, our company factory there, they had a party. We had a party with a band and I guess refreshments and everything. And I asked her to go with me. She wouldn't go with me. No, she gave some excuse, but she wouldn't go with me. So I don't remember the girl. I don't remember her name.
Girl.
Huh?
She was pretty, the girl.
She was pretty.
But he kept hanging after me, and I said, she's so pretty, why don't you go with her?
I took this girl to that party. And we hardly knew each other. She was Irish. She went to Catholic school, not a public school, but I asked her to go to the party that she went, and she was good looking. I said, maybe I didn't get Sophie, but I got a good looking woman with me. And things started went along, but there wasn't many men back there. And when I was back for the first girl out, Sophie went out with me 2 or 3 times, but there wasn't many guys around, I guess. Well, anyway, when I went back over for the Philippine invasion, I took a picture with me, the one that's on the dresser. And I liked that picture with me like that. And when I came back on the war bond tour, and I was speaking at Hayden Manufacturing Company where we formerly worked. And I asked somebody about Sophie. Well, she wasn't there anymore. I guess she was working in a match factory or something. But anyway, the word got back from somebody to Sophie that I was there and asking about her. There still wasn't many guys around, you know. So we started going with each other around, and I always had some money. That's one fact of it. I always had money. And I had that old car, happened car, so we had transportation. And the war was going on. The war in Europe was over with. And we had got engaged in the meantime. And I said, you know, about trying to us getting married. Oh no, the war is still on. The war is still on in the Pacific, but I'm through with that stuff. I'm not going to act as this. But it didn't make any difference. Well, come August of 45, or 5 months later, Japan surrenders. Now the war is over. I said, Sophie, I said, the war is over. Well, she gave me this, she kept stalling, and like that, so I finally, and from the time I got out of service, I had less than a week to get to the University of Cincinnati, where I went to college for my bombing, and things had to move fast. I had to get clothes, and I finally told her, I says, okay. I gave her an ultimatum. I says, we're married by Christmas, or this deal is off. I'm not just running around with you and it's all these little babes. I believe it, messing around living like that. So we got married on Christmas Day, 45. I wanted to see Kleinberg for my best man, who was my best friend, but it wasn't allowed. We couldn't get married in church. We were married in the rectory. The priest was in such a hurry afterwards, I had to chase him out the back door to give him his money, because he was on his way for Christmas with his mother or somebody, I don't know.
But you couldn't get married in the church because you weren't Catholic?
Yeah. And I had
And
to
Sid
have...
was Jewish, so they wouldn't let him in?
No. And I had to get a Catholic best man. So I got hold of John Butcherboss, that lived right across the street from me in Kansas.
You were going to have that fellow that died, your best friend, but he was caught, well, he couldn't make it.
Oh, he got married at the same time, you know. Remember, he got married within 3 days or something of us. Remember, we went down, we were on our honeymoon, we went to his wedding, and Steve Ozabal and his wife, they were married within 3 days of us. We both had baby girls born on the same day. And everybody was kidding.
He died, though.
He died. But everybody said, who was messing around with whom on that on that honeymoon, because we both had baby girls born the same day. They were married 3 days apart from us. So I had John Butcherboss across the street. He was Catholic. And I knew John. We weren't any real friends or buddies and all, but our families knew each other. And so he agreed to be the best man for us.
They used to ration gas then, you know, these things were really rough then.
Well, that was another story about that. I don't know when it was. I was back, and I had a vehicle to run around with. Probably that was that old village I bought. And I went down to the rationing board to get some more gas. No, I had my 5 gallons or whatever it was. I'd had an extension or something. I couldn't get it. I told the rat-headed boy. I said, I've lived in Catskill all my life. I said, there's maybe 10 people in Catskill that have got money. I said, 5 of them are bankers, and the other 5 are...
Bootleggers?
Yeah. I said, the other 5 are bootleggers. The 10 people who've got money. I said, I've got money. And I says, I'm going to get gas to ride around with. Well, you give it to me, or I have to buy it. But I says, I've got enough money to get gas to run around with. Now, I don't remember whether they gave me some more things or not, but I had.
He had money, Ma.
Yeah, he did have a big roll of money when he first came from the service. Well, he didn't spend it or so. No, you made a gambling, then it was terrible stuff. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, in fact,
Good.
there was another girl.
Gambling there. I better tell you ahead of time.
There was another girl that I knew. In fact, she was Leon Shepard's girlfriend at that time, and I knew her well. And I was sending money back to her to bank it for me because I didn't dare send it to my mom to bank any money.
Yeah, Dave had a lot of money when he came, but he spent it too.
Well,
Not on me, but he bought that car that didn't amount. Didn't have a back seat, or had a back seat, but not in the front seat.
we had transportation, other people didn't. We
But
wanted
his
to go.
father would loan Dad his car. Dad would never, he would
Dad-
drive Dad to my house, but not, Dad could take the car by himself. That's why Dad was very fussy over his car.
Dad was so fussy over that car, believe me.
Yeah.
And when Dad died, my mother had several offers to buy that car because everybody knew just the
Got
condition
caught in the rain,
of
he
the
come
car.
home. Yeah,
But how
paid it off.
Dad took care of that car. And that was one of the reasons I got that Willie's car with no front seat, is because it was damn embarrassing for a guy, he had his father drive him over to see his girlfriend, and the next thing, I didn't like that stuff.
Yeah, your dad was good, but when it came that car come first.
Well, I never went in the garage without it being all wiped down like that. Ed might have other important things to do, but that car always got wiped down before it was put away for the evening. Yeah, my stepfather was some good to me, though.
He was.
Yeah, because he worked so much, he didn't have time. And one of the reasons I think he died after he retired, he did nothing to retire to. He,
Was like his father.
you don't retire from something, you should retire to something. But Dad wasn't a gardener, he didn't have any sports, and his only thing was he'd walk down the main street in the morning and get his newspaper and come back and push the Jewish women off the sidewalk and like that. And Dad would say, they're not going to move me off the sidewalk, so he'd go plowing right down the center of the...
Well, he didn't like them or what?
Yeah.
Well, Catskill was noted for their borders, this big resort area, and you have these Jewish people, they come, think they owed everybody. So boy, Dad didn't like it, so he just stayed proud, Dad out, so Dad, I would put my elbows out, they
Well,
would push me on the curb.
It was just the times. I'll tell you, when a Catholic married a Protestant, it wasn't a very good deal in those days either.
No.
And her sister Ann, never gonna work, never gonna work. I still hold it against her in almost 60 years. I was home and had some time off, and she had a friend, Julia White, was it? Julia White. And they had a home, and Sophie had to work or something. Anyway, I was up there, and Julia was up there, and her husband, and she had to go to work, and I had to wanted a ride down. I don't know where I went. I wanted to ride, and it was raining. And by God, they wouldn't give me a ride downtown. I had ended up paying to get a taxi cab. And we were sitting around in our house talking there, and I'm trying to get a ride, and it's raining. But I always resented that, because Julia didn't think much of us in those days. Of course, I didn't think that much of Julia either.
Julia White?
No. Her, Ann.
Yeah,
I'm getting all confused again. I'm talking about Ann.
Yeah.
Ann and Frank, they wouldn't even offer to give me a ride downtown in the rain. I got down.
Well, let's change the subject.
And
What else
Okay, well, he gets married, okay. Okay, tell us a tale about you and Ken Ellis in college. Let's get back there a minute.
I'll finish up the lane a bit.
Oh, yeah, talk about your girlfriend.
Ken, Sid Kleinberg was at our wedding and all. He hung on a strap all the way down to New York City because there wasn't any room to sit down, but there was room for Sophie and I, but the train was so crowded that Sid hung on a strap all the way down to
He was good.
New York City. And then also, while we were down there, we got to meet Bobby Jones.
Bobby Jones?
Bob Jones.
Bob Jones.
You grew up with him.
I
He
grew
was
up with
supposed to stand up in our wedding. He was in the Navy.
He was in the Navy. And Bob Jones would have liked to stand on the way, but he was in the Navy. And he was lucky. He was lucky. He was out on a date in Boston when they had that big nightclub fire. There was, I don't know, a couple hundred people killed in that nightclub fire. But Bob and his date got out of the thing. And Bob was older, 2 years older than I am, but I ran around with him most of the while.
But he's not the Bobby Jones who plays golf.
No, he's not the Bobby Jones who plays golf. His father was a surveyor. And Bob had a car to ride around with. It wasn't much of a car. It was a surveyor's car, but with tools in it and things like that. But he had the car to run around with it. And this was, before the war broke out. We had the girls out in Palinville. And so I would ride with Bob out there to Palinville and back in his car sometimes. But that was some of those steep hills, you'd have to put it in reverse to get up. The car would not go in regular, go up the hills. To get up the hills, you turn around, you put it in reverse, and back up the hill.
Those days there weren't too many cars on the road.
And those days, his mom says there wasn't many cars on the road. I hitchhiked so many miles, but it was nothing because people give you a ride, and I said I wanted to go out to Palinville, like this girl, and Palinville was 10 miles from Catskill, and I get on the road hitchhiking. It took me so much time to get halfway there that I'd take a ride either way. I'd take a ride to Palinville, or I'd take a ride back to Catskill, because I wasted so much time trying to get to...
Is Sid Kleinberg still alive?
Sid is still alive. I talked to him on the phone within the last 6 months.
Yeah.
I talked to him on the
You
phone.
should call him again, Clint.
And where's he live?
He lives in California.
Lincoln.
And he finally retired. By God, he was a jeweler. And he liked his work, you know. And he married a Protestant girl. Sid didn't like the fact that he was Jewish.
Yeah,
He always said,
went for Gentiles.
he went with a nickname of, can't think of Sid's nickname now, but it was an Irish nickname. Something like that.
Oh, Danny.
Danny.
Yeah, Danny.
No, that was his son. That was her son. That don't make any difference really. But
That was unusual because he always seemed to, go with always.
there was just one Jewish holiday he celebrated, only one. I think it was Yom Kippur. But I know there was only one. He had to take the curse off, he said. So he did celebrate one of the Jewish holidays and all.
Did he play golf too?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I beat him in the semifinals of one of the tournaments at Catskill. Incidentally, we haven't even mentioned any golf. I have been fortunate to win club championships at 3 different country clubs in 6 decades. 6 decades. The 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. Damn near won one in the 90s in Florida. But the guy beat me like a drum. He was a better golfer than I was. He should have done it. But I was very fortunate to win the club championships in all those decades. 5 times I won the New York State Masonic Golf Championship. Mother and I would go around. They have them all over. I can't think of all the places I've won them, but they're on the trophies downstairs.
And that's a big deal, the Masonic tournament?
Yeah. See, the Masons were a big fraternal order. And they're all over the world. And the Masons, all in New York, all the Masons from New York State had a tournament every year, someplace. And I participated in it, and I was a state champion 5 different times. And I was runner-up a couple of times. And one of the questions that Donnie asked was about golf, and the greatest round of golf that I ever played in my life, I played in Syracuse. I can't think of the name of the country club, but it had an Italian name. Not Italian, it had an Indian name. It had an Indian name. And we played it in the aftermath of a hurricane.
In New York?
Yeah.
They didn't have hurricanes
Winds.
usually. Huh?
The winds in the aftermath of a hurricane. I don't think I hit a shot more than 20 feet high all day. You couldn't get the ball up there, it was up in Collier County. And I was drilling every shot underneath the wind. And I shot even par up there. And I won the tournament by 6 or 7 shots. Supposedly that was 6 or 7 shots. That was the greatest round of golf that I have ever played. I've had a lot of lower scores, obviously, and like that. But as far as ability, because you couldn't get the ball up in the air, it was gone. You just had to hit that ball low all the while, everything. You'd get a ball 70 yards from the green, and I don't care. You hit that ball with a 5-iron or something like that, you keep that ball low underneath. It's the only way you play the course. The only way you play the course. I won the Woodstock Open in I think it's, I have to check my trophies downstairs. I think it was 1952 or 53. Woodstock Open is it in Woodstock, New York, is an artist colony. And they had a lot of artists hang out there. Well, I'll wait till you get back, honey.
Well, keep going, because I gotta get you your medicine. You weren't Alice
Oh,
last time.
well,
Let me just put it on pause.
no.
Okay.
I was-
Woodstock.
I was mentioning about Woodstock. It's probably known more for its musical gathering. Everybody talks about Woodstock and all the artists that were there, but Woodstock every year had something going on. And in conjunction with it, they ran a golf tournament, and it was a good tournament. They had good prizes. And they had 28 pros and professionals, 24 amateurs, and that was the field. And I think it was 1953. I played with a pro from Stamford, New York, and I won the tournament with all the pros, and two of them pros, it was my good friends, Scotty Robinson and Ellis Gerlach. They came in second and everything. But that was another time where you had to hit the ball low. It was nothing like it was out in Syracuse, but the ninth hole at Woodstock is a fairly long par 3 hole. For me, I normally played it with a 4 iron. And in this tournament, I played it with a 1 iron, a 3 club difference thing. And next year, or the year before that, I was playing, and I came up to the last hole, and I said to one of the gallery around the hole, and of course they had pretty good galleries for the tournament, and I said, what is low? I'm trying to find out what was low for the tournament. This guy says, your name Traver? I said, yeah. He says, putt. His son was in it, and his son was playing good golf, and his son had a pretty good shot at the tournament, so I had to laugh. He says, putt. So I did. And one year I got a set of irons out of it. One year a set of woods out of that. I gave me a low amateur one year in the Woodstock Open, and I won it. Woodstock Open. And I got an invitation to come back. Well, I played it several times, but I got an invitation to come back for the 25th, I think, or something. But I turned it down. I told the committee, I says, my golf isn't of the caliber for your tournament now, so I turned it down. And I mentioned the name Bill Gressick. Bill's probably dead by now. Well, anyway, I thought we were pretty good friends. So I'll never forget this. I think it was a year after I won the Woodstock Open, I paired with him. And on the first hole, I hit my drive to the right. There's out-of-bounds stakes over there. And so we go over and we find my ball. The first hole of the whole of the tournament. And it's so close, you can't tell whether it's in or out until you take a club and plumb it to see whether the ball is in or out. And so, those are pro. Bill, you make the call.
He's a pro where?
Well, at that time, he was pro at Greenville. He did pro at Catskill for a while.
And is he your partner or opponent?
He was one of my opponents.
Okay.
One of my opponents, as he was playing as a pro. And I told him, I said, you make the calls in or out. Out. I mean, gee, the guys that were so close, you could call it either way, you know. And so you're held, you take the start out with a triple bogey on the first damn hole of a tournament.
You should have called it.
Huh?
You should have called it.
Well, I never thought he would do that. I never thought that he would do that. Of course, Bill did one thing for me. I played in this tournament down in Connecticut or someplace. I've got the trophy downstairs. It was community center like we have here. It was community for senior citizens. And they were having an opening day of it. And they had this golf tournament. And they had Dave Marr there. I had a locker right next to Dave, and Dave was the national PGA champion at that time. And they had Tony Monaro there. He was a former Open champion, like that. And he was supposed to be 50 years or over to play in the thing. Well, I was 49, but Bill didn't think that he was that much older than they, you know. He figured sure in hell that I was 50, so he put in my application. And I played in that tournament, and I won the thing. And they did these right. They had free tees for us, free balls. They had everything free for us. And well, I got a nice trophy out of it. But I had another experience with Bill Gressick, the pro. He was at the country club at Greenville, and I was a member at Columbia, where our pro was Eddie Brown. And they were having a thing with all the people, distributors, they're coming to sell their merchandise, a show, a golf show. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to get a set of irons for Mom. And so our pro there, Eddie Brown, he was going over for the thing. And so I went along with Eddie because I figured I'd get a set of irons and get credited to Eddie Brown. Get if I could find a set that I wanted for Mom. Now, prior to this golf show, 2 weeks prior to that, I played in the tournament at this club there. And it was only, I played in a tournament no more than 2 weeks prior to that. And so at the show there, the golf show, I saw a set of irons that I liked pretty well. Thought about getting it for Mom. And I saw Bill. I said, Bill, is there a place where I can hit a few golf balls? He said, hit them on the ninth hole. So I got my car and I break out half a dozen brand new golf balls. And I put them down and I'm hitting them down. Some I hit good, some I don't hit good. I get down to pick them up, and there's this pond right over there. I had knocked a half a dozen brand new golf balls right in that goddamn pond. So I saw Bill later. I said, yeah, Bill, I said, you're probably out there fishing those balls out of that pond. You told me to go out and hit the balls down the ninth fairway. I said, I knocked them a half a dozen brand new balls right in your pond out there. He says, well, you're a darn fool. He says, you played that hole, he says, just 2 weeks ago. He says, you should have remembered that there was a pond down there. Well, I didn't.
How'd you learn to play golf?
How I learned to play golf? Well, I started as a caddy. Of course, they say Depression times. We had no money. And I would do anything to make a few bucks.
I'm going to have to put us on hold here. We're already done with that tape, I think, Dad. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Did you start playing golf?
Yeah.
Well, it was the Depression. Nobody had any money. club, a few members watching who had money done. I think the dues were $50 a year at that time. And most everybody, because we had no cards or anything, everybody carried their own bag, or they had caddies caddy for them. And for 18 holes, you get 50 cents for 18 holes. Now, and I wanted to learn to be a caddy. So down on our street, was a man and his wife by the name of Jack Ward lived there. We never knew what Jack did. He was retired, but they said he was one of the greatest wine sellers of anybody around. And so I went down to see him, and of course I told him, I lived right on the street, and I told him, I said, Mr. Ward, I says, I'd like to learn to be a caddy. And I could do. I says, if you'll take me a couple of times as your caddy, show me what to do, I said, there's no charge. So I caddied 2 or 3 times for him, and I got to be a caddy at the club. And I always was, I was considered one of the best caddy there. I had a great perception for the way the ball was and like that, and I learned as I went along. And you learn from these better golfers. And that's how you learn to be a golfer, is to learn from the better players. In fact, in my golf book downstairs, I think I have a scorecard there where I beat Chum Clark 36 holes, finals with Coach Ebby in those days. Even when I was over in Patrick in Hudson, we played 36 holes. You walked 36 holes in the finals. And I made a notation. I beat Chum Clark, who'd been champ several times at Catskill. I beat him in the finals. And I remember making a notation in that I considered him old. I think he was 50. And that I would have never beaten him in his prime. And Chum Clark was Nina's wife, Rachel. They were great people for the country club. He was a pharmacist at the drugstore. But he had been a good athlete in college in various sports. And he was a good golfer. Sort of a humorous story, I thought, regarding his wife. Chum Clark was playing golf, and his wife was playing with him. And Ray Herring was playing with him, and I forgot who the other was. Going up the 8th hole, and all of a sudden, Ray Herring is jumping all around it. Rachel says, "What happened, Ray?" He says, "I got stung by a..."
I gotta go to the bathroom, let him go to the bathroom.
He says, "I got stung by a bee." Rachel says, "Where did you get stung?" He says, "Well, if you got stung, or I got stung, you wouldn't have got stung."
Okay, we'll stop right there. Because I think I have...
I don't know where we were when we left off in this, but I have an idea that it might have been in the caddy years
It was.
at Catskill Golf Club. And I think we have a few humorous things. One of the things that always struck me, the funniest at Catskill, was on the 7th hole, we have a stream that meanders through the 7th, back of the 6th hole, through the 7th hole. And the stream is about 8-10 feet wide, muddy, slippery banks. And one time I was caddying, and I was with the caddies, and we were sitting up on the high bank
overlooking the hole. And Ray Harry's father knocked his ball into the creek. So he's laying out trying to reach the ball with a club, and he can't quite reach the ball. So Phil decided to hold him by the ankles so he could reach out a little further to get the ball. In the meantime, they decided to let a foursome play through. So the foursome is on. No problem.
No, I'm just checking.
Foursome's on the tee, getting ready to play through. The fellow is holding Ray Harrington's father's feet so he could reach the ball. And one of the golfers on the tee topped the ball off the tee, and it struck the holder right in the ass. Well, this was just a reaction. When you hit like that with a golf ball, he just let go of Ray Harrington's father's feet, and he just grabbed his hiney. And when he let go of Ray Harrington's father's feet, he went splashing all in this stream with this mud and the seaweed and like that. And I'm sure that he didn't feel very good about that voyage into the water, but it sure was humorous to see him splashing around and Phil holding his hiney where he'd been hit with a golf ball in the hiney. That was humorous. Also going across that stream was a wooden bridge, narrow wooden bridge with a lot of flexibility in it. And we caddies lots of times used to leave the 6th hole and go bounding across this bridge to get up on the bank to watch the balls from the 7th hole. And this dentist that I caddied for steady, he just got a brand new set of clubs. And so I came tearing off the 6th green, hit the bridge on the 7th, and I was doing fine until somebody hit the bridge behind me and threw the rhythm off and threw me into one of the stanchions of the bridge. And I wrecked up about 3 of the new Spalding clubs that Dr. Seaman had in the new bag. And he was some unhappy because it took him a long time to replace those things. I wasn't hurt. And like that, but I did do a job on those clubs as I went bouncing over that bridge. Another time, I was assistant at the Catskill Country Club, caddy master and assistant. And we got a call in from the hospital to get Dr. Atkinson in right away. Well, Dr. Atkinson was one of the type of, he felt going into the hospital, he'd go, and if he didn't feel like going, he wouldn't go. So I sent a caddy out to get Dr. Atkinson to come in and go into the hospital for an emergency. And Doc didn't come in. A while later, the hospital called me and said, this is really an emergency. We want Dr. Atkinson in here. So I was alone in the pro shop, but I had a caddy by the name of Wilsey. And Wilsey could drive. He was younger than I was, but he could drive. So Doc had a new car. I don't know what kind of a car it was. So I decided to send Wilsey out on the golf course to bring the doctor in to the hospital. Well, Wilsey got to this same bridge that I was telling you about, and he didn't make it over. He put Doc's new car, the convertible, right in that damn creek. Now, Doc was missing his golf game, and now he's got his car in the creek, and he's still got to walk in to get to the hospital to get to transportation to the Doc was very unhappy, to say the least, and he really chewed Bob Wilsey's fanny out for doing that. Well, Bob didn't know. He was a little excited, I guess, but we put the Doc's convertible in that little creek. That little creek had a lot of memories for us, all of us. A lot of things that happened there. I don't know just what I'm going to talk about.
I think in there it says, what's your best round of golf?
Best round of golf? I don't know. I don't know. I hold the
In
course.
your opinion, what was your best round of golf?
What do we mean by the best round of golf? Now, I have set the course record at Columbia with a 62, which had been, the course record had been a 64 by a fellow that played the tour.
Mm-hmm.
And Mary O'Hara, a many-time club champion, after a wedding reception there, he went out and he shot lights out. He shot a 64, which was a new course record.
Has anybody beaten that 62?
Then, this day, I'm playing with George Bryant, the druggist in Hudson, and Bernie Chester, myself. And I ended up shooting a 62, which was a new course record by 2 shots. And that hung, was still a record when they enlarged the course and added another 9. And when we had another 9, I shot 64 or 65, I forgot which, was a new course record with a new 9 added to it. I don't know where it stands now. I also had a 63 on the old course, playing with Billy Schumann, who was the assistant of the course then, and a lawyer by the name of McDonald. I had a 63.
That means you played the 9 twice.
Yeah, that's the same way with the first thing on 62. I played the 9 twice.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny part was, I didn't birdie the par 5s. And when we come in, we're on the 9th green here, right by the clubhouse. I guess somebody got word, and somebody says that Trim Kinstry was playing with me. Trim, what's Clint shooting? I don't know, 59 or something. God damn, he says he's made everything he's seen out here. And like that, but it wasn't that. It was a 62, which was a new course record by 2 shots. And that was the lowest round I've ever shot. I won't say it was always it was the best, but it was the lowest round I've ever shot.
So what's your proudest golf achievement?
What was, dear?
Your proudest golf achievement.
Proudest.
What are you most proud of in playing golf?
Well, most proud. I would say the fact that I have won club championships in 6 decades. The 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, and 80s. The longevity of it. It wasn't always the greatest golf, but I beat everybody in the club, belonged to the club at that time. And I think that's probably the proudest achievement, the longevity that I was able to hang on to. And after that, I won the Eastern New York Senior Championship. Eastern New York is a society of private country clubs in New York State and Western Massachusetts. 33 country clubs in that association. I was the president of that association for 2 years. And as I said, I have won. I think it was at Norman's side that I won the seniors championship in that. I'm not sure. But that was an accomplishment too, because there was a lot of good golfers belonged to that association. But it was something to be proud of, and even down here in Arkansas, when I was 77, 78, somewhere in there, I won the Arkansas State Championship for the super seniors, those 75 and over. The first day of that tournament, I was tied with 2 other super seniors, and I was teamed up with them on the second day, and we went out and played the second day, and they were super seniors about my age, a little younger. They were over 70. And it just happened to be a day when I was really creaming that ball off the tee. And I started in with 3 really long straight drives. And I think these super seniors that I was playing with got a little uptight. I think they tried to hit the ball a little too hard because I was out driving them. And I think they started pressing a bit. And I ended up winning the seniors championship. I won the gross, and I also won the net. And they weren't really a factor after the first 3 holes, because I was hitting that tee ball pretty good. I had quite an argument that day. I was doing real good in this par 5 hole. I tried to play it safe. There was water on the right, a sand trap on the left, and I knew I was going pretty good. And I tried to get on the green with my second shot, and I got in the sand trap. And sand traps normally aren't a great problem. They generally play them pretty well. And I went over the sand wedge to play the shot out of the sand trap, and here's a photographer setting up and all to watch me play. And I got in an argument with him. I said, geez, he says, I'm having a tough enough time trying to win this damn tournament. I said, now I'm in a sand trap, I got water behind the flag. I said, if I don't hit this right, I'm going to be over in the water. I said, and you're taking a picture of it. I said, can't you take a picture of it? So we had a little argument, but he didn't take any pictures right then. He moved out of my line of sight, but he was right in my line of sight when I made that shot. I got out all right, but it wasn't as good as I'd like to be. I got out, I was probably 20 feet from the flag, but I was playing the sand shots really well in those days.
Didn't you play in the Arkansas seniors too? I thought one time you played the super seniors and you beat them all, and then you went back to the seniors because you didn't think they were good enough or something. I think you told me that once.
No, I won the super seniors, no question about that. And I did play in the seniors, but we had some real good golfers that played in that. And really, I wasn't competition for them. Oh, I was up within the very low ones, but I wasn't going to win the championship because they were good.
What's your most impressive tournament win?
Most impressive tournament win. Well, one was the Woodstock Open.
Okay, you told us about that one the other day.
Yeah. With all the pros in it. My God, my beautiful. And I told you about the Masonic tournament when I played in the Gale. And I hit the ball so well in that tournament. That was impressive. Vendera Country Club, the State Masonic Affair. That's where Warren Bozak helped me keep calm. That tournament, I played the first 4 holes in 5 under par. I birdied 4 of them and eagled the other one. I want to just take the time out, Donnie.
Okay.
I don't feel like it. We've been talking about minor accomplishments. We should also talk about major disappointments. Our club championships at Columbia were always 36 holes. And I was playing as Dr. Beckwith. Now, had I been playing Ben Hogan, Sam Snead, the greatest golfers in the world, now I'm playing on my own course under the same circumstances, I would have played any of them for everything I own, including my wife and my house. There's no way they can beat me. Circumstances are I'm on the 14th hole. I'm 4 up on Dr. Beckwith. Now we've got the finish the 14th, and we've got the 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th. What? I'm on the green in 2 shots. Dr. Beckwith is to the left of the green in the rough. He chips out of the rough and the ball goes in the hole. Now I 3-putt the green. I'm still 3 up before I go. What I gotta do? Tie a hole. My own course. The next hole, 15, he birdies it. I got it. He birdied it. And now I'm 2 up and 3 to go. The next hole, the 16th, we both par the hole. Now I'm 2 up and 2 to go. All I gotta do is just tie one of those holes. 17th hole, our course, par 3, green, mound in the green, narrow mound, only about 8 feet wide, and it goes down, 2 feet down. The pins are up on top. Dr. Beck knocks his ball, going for the pin up on top, over the thing, down on the back. I'm trying to be rather careful, and I hit my ball, my tee shot, on the front part of the green. Now the green has been top dressed, and I've got to go along the green, up the hill, where the pin is up on top. I'm a long ways I hit my putt, goes up to the top of the hill, comes rolling back. Dr. Beckwith chips from over the green to this narrow ledge where the pin is, and his ball goes down the ledge. Now, both of us, we've got to putt off this ledge through the topsoil. Doc Beckwith gets up and puts his ball in for 3. I miss mine. Now I'm 1 up and 1 to go. And I'm really teed off. Boy, the smoke is coming out of my ears. And I tried to hit that drive so hard on the 18th hole that I hook it behind the trees. Haven't got a shot. I play the ball out. Come on. Excuse me, we got somebody coming. Me
Okay.
doing the lunch. So, 18th hole, I'm 1 up.
Behind the tree.
I'm behind the tree. I play it out. My next one onto the green. 10 foot away. Dr. Beckwith is short to the right of the green. He chips it in. Now, I'm all even. We go out for extra holes. I say, in the original circumstances, I'd have played the greatest golfer in the world in my home course.
But it's his home course too, right?
Yeah, but this is I'd have played Steve or Hill, but we're up 4 up and 5 to go, and I'm on a green and 2, and my opponent is in the rough to the left. All right, we go out to play off. I hit a good drive. I had a good second shot. I'm on the green 12, 14 feet from the hole. Beckwith is in the rough with his drive. He gets it out the fairway in his second shot. He pulls his third shot, and he's to the left of the green, in the rough in 3. I'm on the green in 2. He chipped it in for a par. I 2-putt, we're all tied again. So now we're going off with the second playoff hole. Now we're doing reconstruction on the golf course. And the second hole, we were playing a temporary hole, cutting a fairway. Just cut off on the grass in the fairway. It's a par 5. We both get on in 3. We're both a long ways from the flag. And I said, Lord, help me get down to 2 some way if I can. So it's just like putting in the fairway, but it had been cut. And I hit my putt, and it goes hippity, hippity, hop. It goes hopping all over the place, and it stops like this. And I put it in, and I get my par. And I was so happy. Beckwith gets up. He hits, it bounces all over the place, and the damn thing goes in for a burst. And I can't believe it. I mean, the circumstances that I was in, and I didn't hit that many bad shots, and lose the playoff Cup championship under those circumstances, all those chip-ins he had and everything. So, but that's the game of golf. You never know.
That's right. He was chipping good that day. He
Yeah.
couldn't miss.
You never know. Well, the opposite happened to be one time in the Cup championship at Catskill. I was playing Bob Kitchendorfer. He was former club champion. And he had me way down. And I don't remember the exact circumstances of it. But I had one of those finishes and knocked him out too, because he didn't play that bad, but I went crazy on those few holes and was the Catskill Country Club always had a tournament every year, Catskill Invitational. And I was invited to the Invitational that year. And one of the fellows who was invited was the assistant down to Kingston, of course. Well, I birdied the 18th hole, which tied us. So then we go out to play off, and there's quite a gallery, because had been a Catskill boy, and I worked in the pro shop and all, and they knew me around there. So they would go out to follow us in this playoff. And wasn't for the finals, it was a playoff for the semifinals of the tournament, though. And this fellow got on the green nicely in 2 on the first hole. I had a good shot, but it just ran over the green. Just ran over, I was in the fringe. And I putted my ball up into the hole for a birdie. He took a swipe at his putt, and he was so mad he took his putter and drove the ball up the fairway. Didn't come over and congratulate me or anything. And the club never invited him back to play again for the sportsmanship. I gather, because he never even congratulated me when he was just burned up because he lost. But that's golf. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Who's your favorite foursome to play with, Dad?
My favorite foursome?
Mm-hmm. Who would be your favorite foursome?
Well, dream foursome is different.
No, who's your favorite, like
Yeah.
you know, and then who would be your dream
Yeah,
foursome?
well, my favorite foursome, we covered so many years, one I'd have to put Warren Bozak from Catskill in that. Of course, now Tommy Bull would be in my foursome. Bertie Chester, yeah, I guess Bertie would. Billy Schumann was always a good one. Billy was, I had him on the Catskill High Golf team, and he worked in the pro shop, Billy Schumann. I guess that makes a foursome, doesn't it?
You and Billy and Tommy?
Yeah. That would be my
What would be your ideal foursome? If you could have anybody, Sneed, Hogan, Pop,
Yeah.
anybody you want, who would that be?
Well, it would be Sneed. He would be my favorite. And I like Tommy Bull. Tommy was a good golfer. Dresses nice. Always got stories. And see, some of these best pros I didn't know except by reputation. Probably Hogan. I mean, he wouldn't be the greatest to play with, but to see him execute the shots and all, he would probably be someone on the dream foursome.
Who were some of the best golfers you ever played with?
The best golfers I ever played with. Well, I was just a kid coming up, and he was national PGA champion at our club. Tom Creevy. Tom Creevy was the youngest PGA champion in our nation. And I got to play with him. And at our club, whenever whenever they changed pros, I always went out. I was set out to play with the applicant for the new pro job, because they figured I was the best golfer and knew the most about golf. I went out with him. Heck, I'd been out with some pros that I had told the committee, no way, he doesn't know what the heck he's talking about. But I don't know.
That's okay.
I played, of course, I played with Gene Saracen. I didn't mention that. I played quite a bit with Gene Saracen. Gene was an honorary member of our country club, Columbia Golf and Country Club. And as a funeral director, I never knew when I could play and when I couldn't play doing my work. So I would come down to our club, and so happened lots of times Gene Saracen would come up, and our pro would say, hey, Gene doesn't have a game, you want to go out and play with Gene? So I would say, sure. And so I went out and played with Gene Saracen. Of course, Gene Saracen was one of the four that won the four tournaments. Tiger Woods has just become the fifth now. But I played with Saracen, great golfer, great striker of the ball. But he wasn't much of a social guy to play golf with. It was not pleasant to play golf with. He would get irritated. I remember one time they opened a new golf course up in the Albany area, and they had Eddie Schultz, pro from up there, Alex Gerlach, the pro I worked for in Catskill, Gene Saracen, who was the other one? I don't know. Well, anyway, this was Depression times before the war. And a pro, if he made $40, $50 a week, he made a lot of money those days. That was a good day. So they were at this exhibition up there, and they had a par 5, boundary on the left, dogleg left, fenced, and right in the book it said, out of bounds over that fence. Well, Saracen happened to hit his drive over the fence, it was out of bounds. Well, he argued with the committee that it shouldn't be out of bounds for some reason or other. And they let him get away with it. And he won the exhibition, beat Eddie Schultz by one shot. And Saracen got the $50 prize for that exhibition. I thought that was pretty damn lousy, because Saracen was making good money, was a nationally known person at that time. He was there for the exhibition, and pulling a thing like that, to win the $50 and take it away from Eddie Schultz, who really needed it.
Didn't you know Duval too?
Huh?
Didn't you know David Duval's grandfather too?
David Duval. On the tour now, PGA Tour. Very, very good. Now, David, father, Bob, who is now playing the senior tour, or has been ill. Well, he's not playing, but he has been playing the senior tour. He had another brother, Jack and Bob. And their father was pro at our country club. And the family was living over in Connecticut or someplace not too far away. And the kids would come over to play our course some weekends and like that. And I was a club club champion and all. And so I played with Bob Duval's father and uncle quite a few times when they came over. Of course, he wasn't even born then. They weren't even married. The kids weren't even married. But it was a pleasure to play with him. Jack especially. Jack had the smoothest swing you ever wanted to see. My timing would get off or something like that. When he came over, just playing with him and watching him swing, it was so smooth at all. You got your rhythm back right away playing with him. And I'm going to knock off right now because I don't feel very good tonight.
Fire away. What was your best round of golf with Mom? Or most interesting round?
Well, I don't know what the best round is with her. We were playing in a tournament and going pretty good until we hit the sand trap. It took us each of us took 2 to get out, and we knocked it over the green and really fouled up. We lost the tournament. Other than that one hole, we played pretty good, but Mom and I didn't play many things together. She had her own group and I had my own group. And we have played in these tournaments up at Fair and did pretty good. We played pretty good in the tournament up at West Plains. And I followed up that tournament. But I come off this one hole, and I was inquiring about the next hole. He says, up the hill. Well, there was 2 up the hill fairways, and I got in the wrong one, and followed up that deal. But probably the best round I played with Mom was in the Invitational in Columbia. And we had, for the partners, we had Bill Seeley and his wife from Catskill. And we won that. I played real well on that. But other than that, Mom and I didn't play tournaments together. And,
Too bad, 'cause she's a good putter.
huh?
She's a good putter. Too
Oh,
bad.
yeah, Mom was a good putter. I'll tell you one thing though, that Mom and I had an argument out there. We had this 7th hole, winding brook. I can't think of the name of the golf course. It's right near us there, and we were playing in this tournament. They have a nice tournament, and afterwards you have a feed, and they have a free soda out there and like that. And the 7th hole, short par 4, and we got on nicely, and it's the best ball. I mean, a scramble, I guess, scramble. So either one counted, and Mom was a little further away than I was, but I had a decent putt for a birdie on the thing. And Mom hit a putt right up close to the hole and tapped the ball in. I don't know the rules of that golf. Once you hold out, I mean, that's it.
Done, right.
I didn't get a chance to putt for my birdie. And we had a bit of an argument about that. And but we got over it. But I think the biggest argument Mom and I had, we were playing in this tournament, and you could buy mulligans. Well, you weren't obligated to them, but they were a benefit for the girl who was going someplace, local girl. So everybody bought a mulligan for $5. And I don't like to use it, but we had it. And one of the holes, I don't know, fourth hole or something like that, we played, and we had about, putt that long, going right up the hill. Now, Mom's a better putter than I am, so she was putting second all a while. And I got up, putted first, and I missed the putt on the right-hand side. I said it wasn't a long 4'5" at the moment. I missed it on the right-hand side. Mom gets up. She misses at the same place, right-hand side. I figured it's a good time to take a mulligan. I take a mulligan, and I miss a putt on the same damn place on the right-hand side. Mom decides to take her last mulligan, and she puts the ball in the same place on the right-hand side. And I said to her, for Christ's sakes, I said, after 4 putts, I said, you think you've learned that that putt doesn't break? Boy, she got me. She didn't speak to me for 4 holes. I shouldn't have said it, but I was right. Christ, we should have learned that after you hit that putt enough times that it wasn't going to break. But she got mad at Jesus. I'm never going to play golf for you again. I said, if you don't learn better than that, you don't. I don't want you for a partner.
I've seen where I burned 6, 8 shots on a putt. We've all burned them and we can't make the putt.
Yeah, well, those things go.
That's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah,
How many hole-in-ones have you had, Dad?
What, dear?
How many hole-in-ones have you ever had?
I've had 5. I've had 5 hole-in-ones. And not the last one, but the third hole-in-one was the one I was pleased about, because that was on the 4th hole at Columbia. And that meant that I had an eagle on every hole on the golf course, on the Columbia Golf Course. And I had to have a hole-in-one to get the eagle. I'd had a hole-in-one on the other, a par 3, which gave me an eagle. And I had eagled all the par 5s and all the par 4s, but a hole-in-one. The third one I had, that I had eagled every hole on that. I had a hole-in-one on the 17th at Columbia, on the 17th again at Columbia, on the 4th at Columbia, the second down here, long par 3. I hit a 5-wood in there, pin way in the back, that hole. And then the last hole-in-one was my first round back of playing golf after my stroke. My first round coming back, and on the 8th hole here is a par 3. Center of the green is about 185 yards, and to the back of the green is about 160 yards. And normally that was a 6-iron shot for me. And I was weak after my stroke, and I got up and I hit a 4-iron. The ball was going right towards the hole. We couldn't see where it came down. And we drove up with our carts, and my ball wasn't on the green. And I could see that it wasn't over the green. So I said to the fellows I'm playing with, I said, that ball's got to be in the hole. No other place it could be. It's not over the green, and it's not on the green. And I didn't even get out of the cart, because I hadn't feeling that good after stroking. The fellows looked, and there it was in the hole. I used a 4-iron, for Christ's sakes. Normally it would be a 6, but that was my 5th hole-in-one. Mom, she's had 3 hole-in-ones. And the last one I know was on the 4th hole on the north course, down here at Cherokee Village. And I think her other 2 were at Columbia Golf. had 3 of them. And I've had 5. But a hole in one is a lot of luck. I mean, you hit the ball, you hit it in the general direction, and it bounces, and it's rolling along the ground, and all of a sudden it hits a pit or stops rolling and goes in a hole.
Well, I had my hole in one that went straight in the cup, didn't even bounce.
Well, that's what they say.
Went on the fly.
A quarter-inch out of the way where it hit the inside of the thing and would have bounced to the back of the green or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
What's your pet peeve on the golf course?
pet peeve,
Mm-hmm. Here, what don't you like about the golf?
poor playing conditions.
Okay.
Poor playing conditions. I mean, all golf courses can't be laid out just the way you'd like them to. But like gosh, when you've got a greenskeeper and a budget, you ought to be able to keep your course in shape. Now down here at our courses here, they do a lot of work on the golf courses that aren't important at all. They'll be working on parts of the course that don't come into play. Now that irritates me. When we've got areas around the greens that really stay to work on, like that. And they're working on some area off, they were just off the tee or something. It doesn't come into play. They should be putting that money and that time into the areas that come into play on the golf course. So I would say poor maintenance of a golf course is my first peeve on the golf course.
What do you think you learned from the game of golf?
What did I learn from the game of golf?
Mm-hmm.
I think probably patience. Patience.
You don't have too much of that.
I don't have too much patience.
No, you don't.
But golf is a little bit different. I know that you can't force a game. You've got to let it happen. And you hit a bad shot, and you hit a bad shot, go on and hit the next one. I play with so many guys that hit a bad shot and cursing all over the place and throwing their clubs all over the place. It doesn't make it. You go on and you hit your next shot. That shot is over with. It's never coming back. Okay, you go on and hit your next one.
Okay. What do you think the new players would learn from playing golf? What would you like to tell the new players about the game of golf?
Well, the new players coming to the game of golf, they don't understand shot making like the old timers used to do. Today it's distance and power with these young guys. Blast the ball 310 yards down the fairway. We older golfers had to learn to shape shots. We'd be behind a tree or something, and we learned to hit the ball low, low to the right, low to the left, high to the right, high to the left. We learned to hit shots, to maneuver the ball, and that's what the young ones don't have to do. It's a power game today. Everybody is power. Well, in the olden days, it was being able to maneuver the ball. When I started playing golf a long while ago, you know when you start your round of golf and the guy says, you're going to go up to the tee box and hit tee-ball. Tee box. Now where did that name come from? And I'll tell you where it came from. When we started playing, we didn't have wooden tees. On each tee was a wooden box with sand or dirt in it. And you went over and you took a pinch of dirt, put it on the tee, and then set your ball on that.
On a tee?
Huh?
You put it on a tee, or that
No.
was your tee?
No, that was your tee, but you put it on the area used for teeing off. That was your tee. You made it out of sand. stymie rule, if we're playing, you and I are playing, and your ball is within 6 inches of mine, then I got the right to move the ball. But if it's more than 6 inches of mine, I can't move your ball. I've got to play around it, over it, like that. And so, all you have to do, your hole might be there, your ball might be here, my ball might be here. You had to learn to take a pitching wedge, a sand wedge, and pitch the ball over your ball to get it through the hole.
On the green?
On the green. Yes. And that was, they got rules into, well, I've been playing golf quite a while now, when I was still a rule. And it's called the stymie rule. Stymie. If somebody leads away a stymie, meant that you were in the direction that they wanted to putt the ball. It was unfair, but that was one of the rules of golf. It was just one of the breaks. I mean, you might have a putt 4 foot from the hole, and the other guy might be 10 feet away, and he'd putt right up. We wouldn't hit it quite hard enough, and to stop on the edge of the hole right directly in your line. Wasn't anything you could do. To hit his ball, it was in on the last shot. And that, the chances are, if you chip him over his ball so close to the edge of the hole, it's negligible.
What if you hit his ball?
What?
What if you hit his ball? Then what happens?
Where it lands is played or can be replaced. In other words, if you hit his ball and it goes in the hole, it's considered in on the last shot. Now, if you hit his ball and it goes 3 or 4 feet, whatever it might be, that ball can be replaced. Its original position.
Okay, but if it went in, he'd hold it out.
That's right. It's considered hold out on the last shot. And I was still playing tournament golf when we had the rule of the embedded ball rule. The ball was embedded. It was too bad, like on the green or early played it. And I was playing in the Woodstock Open. I won the Woodstock Open the year before. And I'm playing with a pro from Woodstock. I'm playing with a club president from Woodstock. And another fellow, I don't remember who now. Second hole down there. We had a lot of rain. And that was a soft, it was a hole down in a hollow. And it was pretty soft. And I hit my wedge shot into the green. And I got up there and the ball was embedded in the green. And I asked him about moving it. Oh no, that a ball rule had to play it. So I turned to the caddy, I said, all right, give me my sandwich. He looked at me and said, sandwich, what are you going to do? I said, I can't putt it out of that thing. I'm going to take my sandwich and hit it out. Well, playing with the club president and the pro, had a little consultation, and they finally decided that my ball was, gosh, you know, I can't even think of the word.
Implayable.
It wasn't implayable. But it had to do with water. It was in a water, implayable water hazard. We didn't get penalty, and so I got to move it without a penalty. And like, but sure in hell, if they didn't let me move it, I was going to try to play that with a sandwich, and I'd probably taken a divot out of that green a foot long.
Now, that one time I talked to you, when I was over, you and I were at Tommy's house, y'all were talking about the balls not being round, and you had to drop them through some thing.
Yeah, well, when we originally played, the balls were not all round. We carried, most of us carried with a metal thing made out, I don't know who made nicely, and you knew the ball was round. Yeah, we used to test the balls, because you get a dozen brand new balls out of the factory. And maybe 3 or 4 of them at the most would be good, really good shape. The others were new, but they weren't very good shape. And that caused the ball to move in the flight when you're hitting it. Go right, left, and the main thing is putting. You'll get bouncing on the green. Some of those balls that aren't round will get bouncing on the green, and you won't make the putts. But those are some of the things that we went through in the early golf when I was growing up.
And I remember Tommy saying too that y'all didn't have like markers telling you how far away you were.
No.
You had to just eyeball it.
That's right. Also, when we started playing golf, you're right, Tommy, that you eyeballed your distance. You looked to see how far it was. Then they came out with the distance off the tee markers. People were interested in how far they drove the ball. So then we put little metal distance, 150 yards from the tee, 200 and so on. So people would say, hey, I drove it so far, like that. But then after that, so then you divided it, your ball was by the 150-yard marker, and the hole was 300 yards. You had 150 yards to go. Then the next thing to come along to ease it up, they had markers alongside of the fairway, usually a bush, to 150 yards to the center of the green. And so that gave you an idea of how far it was to the center of the green.
Somebody's yelling. Well, that's good. That's enough about golf.